Hey guys, welcome to the How Come podcast. This is your host, Remy Casimir. On the podcast where we discuss the fact that I've never had an orgasm, it sucks dick, and we're going to figure out why that is and how I'll be able to have one. On this episode, we have Lindsey Metselaar, social media queen, and our guest is Napoleon Emill, amazing stand-up comedian. Let's figure it out on How Come.
How come? How come? How come I can't achieve? How come I can't achieve? I'm rolling up my sleeves. I'm rolling up my sleeves. Oh baby, I believe these guests can help. 'Cause I can't do it by myself. I wanna jizz.
Okay, so today my guest co-host is Lindsey Metselaar. We are friends from the city growing up. We were friends from BU, and we also used to do a little Twitter and Instagram account together called Stoner Girl Problems. So obviously we're smoking. Lindsey, she's the social media queen. She's great altogether. You guys give it up for Lindsey Metselaar.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Yeah, clap. Charlotte's here. Hey, Charlotte.
Charlotte's the best.
Charlotte's the best. Lindsey, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. Your podcast is one of my favorites in New York about sex and dating and just like...
It was inspired by your podcast.
Stop it. Oh my God. All right. She has her own podcast called We Met at Acme. She has a food blog called Don't Expect Salads. She has a social media consulting company. What do you think would be like the formula for the perfect eye-grabbing post to a guy that you're... Have you ever posted for a guy?
I
like
wouldn't say
hoping that he
posted
would...
for a guy, but I've definitely posted like being like nudging their attention, you know?
Yeah. Not being, well...
Being like, I know that they're going to text me.
Hey, Daniel, text me
No,
as
yeah, of
your
course.
caption.
Like, I know.
You have to be subtle.
That would be
You have to be
epic.
like,
Honestly,
like casually.
If a
Like,
girl did that, like I would have so much respect for her.
I actually would too. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's like kind of bold move. It's really nice.
Oh my God. I mean, you could do it if it's like your boyfriend. You know what I mean? So a little birdie / a lot of big birdies told me that you've never had an orgasm.
I've never had an orgasm. One of the birdies was me because we talk about it nonstop.
I know.
It's a pretty annoying problem, and I feel like you
Annoying
do
is
it.
an understatement for sure.
You do it pretty easily, from what we've said.
I have an orgasm at least once a day, every day.
Oh, you must have such a nice life.
But you could too if you did what I did.
What did you
Or
do?
what I do.
I know you started getting
I
into
started
it
when
at
I
a
was
young age.
really young, like in 4th grade. So I'm not saying you have to start in 4th grade.
But most people, from what I'm finding out, do.
Yeah. They probably do, and they don't talk about it. I also have an older sibling, and you are the older sibling.
Yeah.
You know what
Well,
I mean?
I have two older brothers too, but we didn't
That's
talk about
true.
that stuff.
But yeah,
I'm
they
the older
weren't like
sister.
in
Yeah.
the same room as you, like
No.
also curious about their vagina.
No.
So it was definitely, it helped because I feel like I just like grew up faster in that way, and like I just wanted
And you guys
to...
are close too, so you could talk to her about
We're
anything.
really close, and like I just wanted to feel like I remember the first time I ever thought I was having an orgasm, I thought that I had to pee.
Yeah, that's how I feel every time.
Yeah, like I ran to the bathroom though, and like I tried to pee, and then I was like, oh. And then, like, I didn't know what it was. And I went on my computer. It was, like, still an old computer.
Like an old Blueberry Mac.
And I was like, what does it mean when it feels like you have to pee, but you can't pee? And I don't even think the answer that came up was sex. I think it said you have a UTI.
Yeah.
Or have an orgasm, whatever. Yeah. But I just, like, I figured it out somehow, and I kept doing it. And it was kind of like the same, like, routine.
Yeah, but it wasn't like you're doing anything scary. It's like you're doing something fun
and
that's
also,
really cool.
I think that it's really intimidating to girls because they think that they have to like sit there and finger themselves.
Right, that's what I thought
That's
this whole
not-
time. Like, oh, do you finger blast yourself? It's not like a
what?
fun me time thing. It's like it like sounds
You're not
violent
blasting
and gross.
it in there
Yeah.
either. Like,
right.
That's abusive. It sounds, but I think there are other ways, like humping a pillow.
Yeah.
Putting something in between your legs and like pulling it back and forth. Like for me, fingering myself is like tickling myself. Like I'm not
like,
laughing.
Yeah. Like it's something that everyone's supposed to enjoy, but like no one actually likes it.
Yeah, exactly.
No, like I like to be
I don't
fingered by
understand.
another
Like
person.
if I sat on my hand and it went numb and then I fingered myself, maybe it would feel good. But like I know it's me. Like my body's
that's
not like
sexy.
Who's that?
Yeah, I'd be like, what the fuck am I doing up here? Like that's ridiculous. But it's interesting that you would even go to Google that. Like I would be afraid that was on my family's search history.
Oh no, I would be like having lesbian experimental like sex in the middle of the day with my door unlocked with friends.
Okay.
Like
I also had lesbian experimental sex.
everyone did.
Okay.
It's like the same lie as girls don't watch porn. Girls also had a lesbian phase. Everyone
I
did.
don't watch porn though.
Well, start with that.
Okay.
For sure. I mean, like the fact that that hasn't been on the list yet is insane.
Okay, well,
That's number one.
The person who has to like give the assignment is the main guest, but maybe we can tell that
Yes.
should be my thing
Yes.
or whatever. Charlotte, did you have a note? Okay.
What did Charlotte say?
She wants to know what kind of porn you think I should.
I think honestly you should start with some straightforward like delivery man.
Really?
Yeah, just like something like
Charlotte had
not too
suggested
crazy.
girl on girl because she said that like there's no action that like is like scary, and like some of those guys are like scary looking, and also it's like
No, I would
about the
watch girl
guy.
on girl if you're like an amateur porn watcher. Like if this is the first time you're ever watching porn, watch
Yeah.
girl on. It really you've
I
never
mean, like
watched
I've
porn.
watched it before, but not like to gain anything from it. Just kind of just like to like laugh at it. Like I've never watched it in like a sexual sense.
That's a thing right there that
Okay.
we
Usually
need to
I
get
watch
more
like
into.
like I think is like hotter is like nice movies like a romance flick. No,
That's
not
really-
like 10
you
Things I
need
Hate
to
About
get-
You, like Heath Ledger being all hot and like the paintball
You need to
room.
get seriously in touch with your sexual side.
I think I'm really not.
Maybe you can watch porn
But I
of
think-
yourself
but
and your
so-
boyfriend having sex. Why don't you start with that? Record yourselves, watch it, and then delete it.
I think I would find myself really gross. Probably.
No.
Or really great. I don't know.
Really great, I think.
I'm scared.
It could be.
How many
be
boyfriends have you
interesting.
done that with?
I did. Okay, so whenever I have watched porn, it's been like either to check out a video of someone that put out something gross from one of our schools.
Wait, are
Remember?
people from school are in porn videos?
No. Remember like how
Swiffer
girls
girl?
used to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, there was a girl who we knew who put out some little amateur porns, and whenever I would watch that, I think that was like my
I
first.
wouldn't call it amateur porn. She took her brother's hockey stick and she stuck it up her pussy.
And a Swiffer.
And then took her mom's Swiffer and stuck it up her pussy.
And then it got circulated around the schools.
And then everyone saw it, and I don't even think,
Yeah,
I mean,
but that was like my first exposure to like the porn that everyone was watching and
Right.
enjoying, and obviously like I was just laughing at it and giggling and like being analytical and like, yeah, I just
so you were like, I can't do that. That's too intimidating. I don't have a Swiffer, and I don't feel like it'll fit up my
Totally.
vagina, and I'm just never gonna try.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I'm not into it. And
What about like pressure, like in the bath, or like the hot tub?
I try all of that. It just doesn't work. It's like it feels nice. Everything feels nice, but it just doesn't turn into anything. Mm-hmm. Like I love a shower head. I love a jet.
You know who you need to find to come on this show? A guy who's never had an orgasm.
Oh, we have one coming.
Really?
Yeah.
Who is he?
Stay tuned.
Oh my god!
Stay tuned.
What a legend in the opposite way. I
know,
guess
it's crazy. No, there's actually a lot of guys who, but yeah, we'll talk. But yeah, so what I wanted to talk to you about, because I try everything. And so that's why we're trying to get these assignments from like more well-versed people. But last week's assignment did not go well.
Why?
It was from Wendy Starling, and she told me to just graze lightly over my underwear for 20 minutes and like just be by myself and like think about some guy kissing me. You're making a face. You don't think that's a good assignment?
That sounds like something someone might have assigned me in third grade.
Well, I think that's what everybody's like trying to take me on, like a very slow journey, you know, like
no, like you're an adult. Like you can like get deep into that thing.
So what I would have thought was if I could, that this assignment would have worked. But what ended up happening was I set a 20-minute timer, and then it just wasn't happening. It wasn't happening. It wasn't happening. And instead of just being like, oh, this assignment's not working, I got so in my head and I was like, this is actually really upsetting. Like, maybe I'll never be able to do this. And I just started crying.
Oh, no.
It was really sad. And another thing that I did, which was not prescribed by Wendy, but I turned on like a soundtrack that was all like really lovey, like romance film soundtrack. And I think like crying to that soundtrack was just so depressing and bad.
I think, honestly, you need to take the emotion out of it. Like,
How do you do that?
but like sometimes I'll be thinking about like a tuna sandwich I ate yesterday and I'll have an orgasm because like I'm so good at like the motion of it. You know what I mean? Like, if you think of like it logically, like, okay, I'm rubbing this thing back and forth. Eventually it's gonna feel really good and I'm gonna orgasm. You know, you just can't give up.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just, I'm not going to give up. And like, I had to push through the sadness, but like, it fucking sucked.
I was extra scared because our last episode, I talked to Wendy, who's like amazing, but she was telling me that she squirts. And she was saying that like, it's like fluid places. And it was cool because some guys wrote in being like, that's awesome. Like, we like that or whatever. So that like,
Right.
but then somebody wrote to me and was like, I do that. And this is like somebody that like I'm close with, like I should know shit about. And she was just like, yeah, and like I fucking hate it. I don't ever want to do it with like a guy because like the cleanup is messy or whatever. And so now I'm really scared that
I was gonna
that's
say, are you
what-
scared
I'm
that
really
if you have an
scared.
orgasm,
and I
you're
found
gonna
out that
squirt?
somebody on my mom's side is
I think that
I'm really scared.
fear is
that's
like
probably the
a
blockage.
huge block.
I know.
A huge
but
block.
I don't want, like, what am I going to do? Just sit in a bathtub? I don't want to sit in a bathtub.
No, you don't have to sit in a bathtub.
Okay.
Lots of guys really like squirters.
I know, but like, then do you have to like clean their
There
bed
was a
every
girl
time?
at
I
BU,
don't. I'm
and I'm not
going to
mention her name.
Okay.
Because I would never do that.
No, I
She
remember
would
there was one
literally-
my freshman year.
Yeah, it was my freshman year.
Okay,
so
so
it
no.
was your sophomore year.
My sophomore year. Mhm.
And I was friends with her, and she had a longtime boyfriend, and I was once holding her phone, and he sent her a text, and I read it, and it said, like, accidentally it came up, and it was like, I can't wait to make you squirt.
Ooh.
And I literally, like, vomited in my mouth.
I know. That's the thing. It's
when
like,
I realized
don't-
like people really like that, I guess. And then I asked her about it, and she like admitted it. And
she admitted it. That's the thing though, is like, it's still something to like admit. Like, it's like, I'm scared. I don't, but
It's
like,
just, like, it's
I'm
just-
like, go
it's
girl
just
for girls who
taking a-
are
like, it-
and aren't me.
yeah.
But then for me, I'm like really scared if that's.
Also, like, a lot of girls still don't come from sex. They can only make themselves come or like have an orgasm from being eaten out.
Okay, I have a question about being eaten out because, like,
I think you need to also find out, and I do want to hear your question, if you're the kind of girl who can come just from like a dick up you, or if you need a guy like rubbing your clit while his dick is up you, because there's two kinds.
no, totally. Apparently, only 8% of women can come from just a dick. So
I'm
I don't
in the
think
8%.
Ari, fuck you, Lindsay. Get out of here. Get off my podcast. No, I'm just kidding. I love Lindsay and all you girls that can come. I'm just jelly. No, my question about oral sex. Would you ever feel if you were hairy or whatever and you were with this really hot guy that you wouldn't fuck him because you were like in your head about it?
Such a good question, and I almost want to steal it for a poll for We Met at Acme.
Do it.
It has nothing to do with the guy ever. Whenever I get a wax, it's because I want my pussy to be beautiful for me.
For you.
For me. Because
That's really
I see it the
interesting.
most, you know?
Yeah, and
like,
then if you are thinking that you're hot as opposed to you feeling gross.
yeah.
Like a lot of the time, I think why I'm in
Yeah.
my head, it's not even, does he think it's gross?
You
It's
have
like,
to
I
love
think
the-
I'm gross
yeah,
right now.
You have to love your
Yeah.
vagina. Like, you have to love the smell of it. You have to love the look of it. Like, if
Check,
there's like
check.
an ingrown, which like girls have a lot,
that.
you have to get rid of it.
Get
You
rid
have
of
to
it.
go see Lydia
if
at
it
Maurice
bothers you.
Dusson on 65th and Park is what
Okay.
you have to do. Just came from a wax. Sorry for the TMI.
Yeah.
But like, I was literally thinking about this because the guy that I'm seeing, like, I had just come home from Mexico and I saw him that night, and it's obvious that I don't have time to do any
Right.
maintenance.
Yeah.
And so I was like, should I tell him or should I just like wing it?
Yeah.
And I kind of just like winged it. I didn't say anything. Like, I was thinking about being like, just so you know, like, obviously I haven't gotten a wax,
Yeah.
but like that's already obvious.
Right.
Like he's coming over post-flight.
Yeah.
Like unless there was a woman in the bathroom on the
Yeah.
flight that does waxing,
Like a new Mile High.
it's a no, or like
Yeah.
a laser woman at like the airport. And
They have those. They've added it to the spas.
I believe
like
it.
those little in-air
I believe
spas.
it, but so I didn't say anything, and then it was totally fine.
I just always think about like, oh, like, because on episode 1, somebody wrote into me and he was like, hey, by the way, some guys don't like to eat pussy because if there's hair there, like it's smellier and it's like sweaty or whatever. Like,
What?
Right, and that gets me in my head.
He's messing with the wrong pussies. First of all, that's unfortunate for him, and I'm sad for him. But second of all,
But he said he likes it.
That's
He
just
likes
as
it.
likely as us like getting a hair in our mouth, blowing a dude. What's the difference?
Because most guys don't have hair on their shafts, is the thing. Have you ever
You're
encountered
right.
a hairy shaft?
You're right. I think that would be really weird, but we don't have
I've
hair on our
encountered
clits.
that. That's true. Yeah,
So
pull it back.
get
you
in
little
there.
monsters.
Fucking losers.
Losers. No, now that I'm thinking about it, like it's like you should be number one attractive to you. So whatever that means for
Yeah.
you, the other person that you're going to be hooking up with is eventually going to have to be okay with it. Right?
Agreed.
Okay. I want to get our guest's opinion on all this eating box stuff. So let's get him in here. He is one of my favorite New York City stand-up comedians. I'm so excited to have you here. Please give it up for Napoleon Emill. Yay! Yeah.
Number one supporter.
Number one supporter. So, okay, Napoleon was one of the first guys that I spoke to about my issue. Do you remember when we were sitting outside the creek in the
yeah.
cave? Yeah, exactly. And really interesting to me just to hear like your take on it and also your first time story, which I guess we can get into later. He's already smiling, but it's quite the story, no?
I guess so. it's like the whole
First time
situation.
coming. Yeah, the situation is.
situation.
Can we just get into it now?
Okay, I guess.
Come closer.
Yeah, sure.
All right, so this is his first time coming, not his first.
No,
like,
that was my first time. It was my first time.
but your first time coming and your first time
Having
sex
sex,
were at the same time.
Yeah, at the same time. Well, I was pretty young. So
Yeah.
I didn't know how to jerk off at the time. I didn't have any like formal training with it. So like my first time I was
How old
sex
were you
was-
again?
It was a summer. I can't remember if it was 11 turning 12. I know I was like at least 12 or 12 about to turn 13. It wasn't 11, but it was super young.
And you'd never like even tried to jack off or anything like
No.
by yourself?
Nah, not at that age. I didn't. For some reason, at that age, jacking off for some reason was like known as a gay thing to do, which was like a negative thing.
Wait, really?
Dudes are like, yo, you jack off, bro, you gay.
Why?
That was
Fucking hilarious.
That's hilarious. I think
That
that's
was
the
like-
weirdest thing. Was it because they were like all jacking off together or something?
Oh,
No,
Circle
it's
jerk.
I don't know. It's just any type of like letting people in, I guess.
Or talking about it is
Openly
gay.
talking about it,
Yeah.
I guess, is gay or sharing it, but dudes would like bait you into the question. They were like, yo, you ever beat your meat? You'd be like, yeah, sure. They'd be like, oh, you
Oh,
gay.
you're gay. Wait, that is the funniest thing I've ever heard.
It's
Like,
the
it's like
funniest.
tricking you into admitting that, like, you're doing a perfectly, like, fun,
Non-regu-
awesome.
It's
Yeah.
like very low on the sex spectrum.
Very
Like,
low.
very low.
Yeah, that's what I'm learning. Apparently, everybody does this.
Masturbate?
Yeah.
Yeah, some people.
No,
Not
but
everybody.
not everybody. True. If you're not masturbating, it's chill. But if you'd like to, begin. What, Lindsay?
She said, who does
Who
it?
doesn't masturbate?
I don't know. If there are people who don't masturbate, please write in and let me know why you're not doing it. Because even though I don't come, like, I still masturbate. Like, I still,
Right.
try and take care of myself.
Yeah, you should always try to, I guess.
Yeah. Anyway, so you were not. Okay, wait. Did you guys have, like, health class or anything that was talking about masturbating?
I had health class, and like the things that happened,
Mm-hmm.
I had to like check back the memory bank. Like, oh yeah, like I didn't pay that much attention. It was like
yeah, because you have to learn on the job.
Like it was more or less like a lot. Like they did talk about that stuff, but that wasn't the interesting part to me in the classroom. Like I was kind of just waiting to watch the movies.
Yeah.
And like when they talked about drug use, I was kind of into that part. But
Did you like look at like health class movies as like your first porns?
no, I've seen porn before that.
Oh, really?
Way before that, yeah.
How did you see porn?
Just an accident. Like I took a tape, like a videotape.
Yeah.
That I thought was like a movie. And I was like 6.
Like a home
I
video?
thought it was
Oh,
I thought it was a movie, like a video of a movie that came out. I thought it was like Ninja Turtles or something.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be a porn.
Oh no.
And it was like an orgy porn too.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I was not aware of what was happening.
I don't know. I think porn is pretty cool, but every time I've watched it, like I've never gotten like sexual enjoyment out of it.
See, the porn that I watched too, this is like my dad's porn. Like these are from like, you know, the 70s. They were like kind of like
Bush for days.
Yeah, that, and they were just kind of this like terrible definition. You know, it's kind of grainy.
Yeah.
That sounds like a millennial.
No, I mean,
Not at all. I have to say, I actually love older porns when I'm watching porn. Like, I try to find a porn from like the 70s because like it's like
it's less
hotter.
high def too.
Whenever I come across one on like a site, I'll watch it just because
like,
it's like
yeah.
nostalgic at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't believe there were like daughter, stepdad, like pornos back then, you know?
I feel like,
There was, like-
fetish has existed for a very long time,
Yeah,
and
but
we're just
maybe
starting
not-
to talk about it.
Maybe not as old. I mean, but porn is like bigger than it's ever been, just in general. What is
Pornhub
it?
has a pop-up store right now in Soho.
I heard
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Brazzers has billboards. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a lot more on Front Street than what it was prior to like 2010, 2011. Like it wasn't as big as it is now by far. Cause it's like a known thing. It's like everybody's watching porn now,
Except me.
except you.
I don't know.
You
Maybe
can
I
change
should
that.
start. Maybe that should be my assignment for this week
Yeah,
is
watch
porn.
some porn.
All right. Well, so I have to do. I'm gonna get like worse and worse
Have you
assignments,
not
and
watched porn?
I mean, like, no, I've only watched it in like a analyst's way.
You don't even skim it. Just look at this like to see anybody. Like you don't see a thumbnail. Like something pops out at you. Like this looks
No.
interesting.
What about
I
like
never
before
even-
bed when you feel tingly down there and you're like, I don't know if I have to pee or like maybe I'll
Usually
masturbate.
just jump my man's.
Yeah, I mean, but you...
I don't want to stop that for him. I mean,
I don't want to
No,
stop
but-
that for him either, but I think you need to know how to pleasure yourself before you're
I can make it
continuing
happen
to
with another
F
person.
your man.
True. Oh yeah, so maybe I just have to put fucking on hold with him until I.
No.
Ben will never
Get
speak to me
behind
again.
I'm not gonna get behind that.
No. But
I would just
Lindsay
say
and I.
maybe it's something you guys can do together.
Yeah, but I do think learning alone, for now at least, is a good idea.
Oh yeah, that's important.
Yeah.
It usually doesn't happen at this time.
At the same time. But let's get back to your first time story because it's my favorite story in the entire
forgot
world.
about that.
Yes. So Nepal. That's how you got on this pod because you're so interesting.
Oh, is that how? You did say that. You also did say that night.
So you were 12 or 13,
Yeah, I was 12 or 13.
and you were.
I was visiting family, right? Because I'm from North Carolina. I
Mm-hmm. Right.
was visiting family here. Where my grandmother lived in. And she was a couple years older, but I've known her since I was like a little kid. Like we
Yeah.
went to like, you know.
It's like your family friend.
Yeah. I've known her since I was like, you know, a kid. So like, you know, had sex with her. She was a couple years older than me.
That was a yada 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 moment. What do you mean had sex with her? Let's
I had sex with
rewind.
her.
No, go back. You're 13. She's
you
16.
want the stuff around it? No,
Yeah.
she's 15.
She's 15.
15.
Okay.
Basically, it was like a hot day. We were playing.
It was a hot day.
It was a hot day. It was like
Remember the
summer.
temperature.
Yeah.
Well, I remember because I was up here because it was only during summer vacation.
Okay.
And like we were having like a water gun fight. And this was like an older sister to another friend. Like I knew her siblings, and like went upstairs to like because I was like, yo, I'm gonna go fill up at your house. And his sister was there, just like not really being entertained by the stuff going on outside.
Yeah.
Like she's 15, so in her head she's
Like
all the way
over
above it. Yeah. So like basically, I just went up there to fill up my water gun, and like she kind of just like approached me there, like
And she was like, "Hey, Napoleon, so nice to see you. Want to have sex?"
no, not even like she was like kind of flirting, but I wasn't like aware of it. If that makes like she was asking me to come sit next to her.
Yeah.
And she wasn't really like she had this oversized like T-shirt, like probably like a father's T-shirt or something like that on, like definitely not like for company or for like somebody that's not related.
Right.
But I've known her for a while, so it's like
You didn't think
know,
anything of it.
not necessarily. Like I was kind of like trying to peek, but it wasn't like I didn't think anything like that was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like basically like
What's peak?
like to peek at like under the
Oh,
shirt.
peek under her.
Yeah. I was trying to peek.
I thought you were like trying to be your best self. Like I was trying to peek.
I was trying to be like give out the best representation
Yeah.
of myself. I wanted to really hold me high.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, like she asked me to come sit next to her and like kind of was like, you know, bothering me for a bit, kind of like giving me a hard time and talking to me about like being in the South and how country it is and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then like, you know, she kind of just started like touching on me and like touching on my, like on my dick and stuff. And it was kind of like, I knew it was like, I kind of knew in my head that it was going to happen, but I thought if I did anything, I was going to fuck it up.
Right. So you just
I
had to like be like a deer in the headlights and be like, I'm just gonna let this go. I'm just gonna let her do whatever she wants.
Yeah, I kind of started to stay still, and that kind of like made her saying I was like kind of being weird and stuff, and I was trying to be like, no, I've done this before. Like, we all been here before. Like, yeah, this is normal. It's not like we've been here before.
You're like, this is cool. I freeze up every time a girl touches my penis, and then we have sex.
This is how I warm you up.
Yeah.
Really still flex all my shoulder muscles. Yeah. But yeah, she asked me if I had sex, right? And I don't think she said it like that. I can't remember how she said it.
Yeah.
But it was like, she was like, you ever had sex or anything like that? And I was just kind of like, yeah. Like, like I kind of like simmered. Like it wasn't even like it was a year you wouldn't believe, right?
Right.
So like, but she was like, whatever. She was 15. Whether she believed it or not at the time, like she already decided
this is going down.
Yeah.
Well, she probably already had a crush on you or something.
She already decided she was going to give me this favor. Some kid that was like 2 years younger than her.
Yeah.
That's really nice of her.
It's really nice.
Yeah, I guess because I was traveling.
Have you done something similar? You guys are she's an altruistic person.
I don't think she was a virgin though.
No, probably not.
No.
You don't initiate. You had a fantasy.
I
used to have a fantasy.
Like you just like. No,
I used to have a virgin fantasy. Like I wanted to only have sex with virgins after I lost my virginity.
Like that movie Kid.
Oh god.
I only fuck virgins. Kind of age out of that like.
Yeah, you get out of that real fast.
You age out of that idea.
You're like, no,
I can't.
I'm not trying to fuck someone who can't fuck.
But I think it's like a nice notch.
And then it's like, you know, there's a little bit of an imbalance of age at this point. It's like, if I want to find somebody who's not fucking, I gotta, and now they're watching porn so early, you gotta really start.
Well, that's what I was just gonna say. Like the first time I ever had sex, maybe I'd watched porn once, but I hadn't watched enough porn to know what to do. I got on top of the guy and I laid on top of him.
Hilarious.
Like laid flat.
Like a starfish.
Isn't it kind of cute? Like literally
exactly
like a starfish. He didn't know either. So like we were just like chilling. And then like I was like, why doesn't this feel like anything?
You guys draw her.
Wait,
like,
how old
naked?
were you guys?
Like 15. I'm 15 when I lost my virginity, which is really late for New York, by the way.
Yeah, really late. I was the last virgin standing at 16.
Without clothes on then, basically.
No, basically. And then I was like, oh, maybe I should, like, I kept, like, trying different things. And then I was like, oh, I'll just, like, sit on it. And I did, but I just sat on it. Like, I didn't, like, do anything.
I just like the idea of you guys just
but it was so small. It was like a slim fit tampon. Like when you're on the
funny.
last day.
It's like funny the idea of you just like dry humping this dude and being like, I'm pregnant.
I was already on birth control, which is a whole other story.
So many of us don't know what it is until
I feel like I've dated more girls that have like been on birth control because of like skin problems.
Yeah, I went on it because of Accutane. Way before I was having sex.
To have a regular period.
Oh, nice.
TMI, YOLO.
Yeah.
I tell man, I'm like, why?
Because anyway, we're not gonna get into. Wait, do periods as a guy gross you out, or like, are you the type that will still have sex on a period?
I've had sex on periods. I won't say. Like, I have sisters, so like I'm not. So the idea of a period doesn't gross me out. I know I don't know, a lot of things that are taboo are things that like most of like dudes I grew up around that were like kind of like against. I've never found them to be like mind blowing. I'm like very unimpressed with, like, not unimpressed, but it doesn't move me. It doesn't make me be like, oh, like if I feel that way, I've recognized it to be a superficial thing, right? So like for me to be like, oh, I'm not gonna have sex because you're on your period, it's like, you know. The biggest concern of mine is like, oh, I don't want to like stain the
exactly.
Like I can wash that off of myself.
Totally. I think it's just the cleanup that's off-putting to everybody.
I probably won't do any fellatio.
Sure.
In that situation.
Cunnilingus for ladies.
Cunnilingus, I definitely won't do it.
Yeah.
Because I said I probably won't, and I felt like that was misleading.
Yeah.
I definitely won't.
Very misleading.
Yeah.
That's like one of the major stipulations. Like, that's not.
But my friends have been with guys who go down on them on their period, and that's really a whole new level. I'm not saying it's good.
I'm
not saying it's good.
I mean, by all means, who am I to say what they're into? You know,
Right.
it can't be.
Right. But I don't think it's weird to not want, like, I wouldn't want blood all over my face either.
No.
No, if there was a penis spouting blood, I don't think I'd be down to
But I
go down.
feel like that's something that people are into.
I think some people are, and I think that whatever you're into is cool, and like fetishes are fetishes for a reason, but like I don't think across the board everybody has to eat box when girls are on their period. I don't think like
I don't think any girls are gonna catch an attitude.
nobody's gonna catch an attitude.
Nobody's gonna be like,
But
you've ruined this moment.
just a technical thing, the clitoris never bleeds. So you could fully have a tampon in and get full oral sex and never get
Where's the blood coming from?
from the
doctor?
inside, from your vaginal
walls.
walls. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, moving on.
I have pleasure girls who have tampons in or pad. Well,
Like
not
you'll-
yeah.
You'll
'Cause,
DJ
like,
the clit because
yeah.
it's a separate entity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fingering is like for special requests.
Yeah, fingering it. Everybody thinks fingering is like the norm. It's just
Yeah, I
like
did too.
yeah. But so Lindsey and I were talking before about going down on girls, just because this is a big question I always have. Like, and you're a guy, you're the manliest man. Do you enjoy it, or do you think it's something? It's like a chore.
No, it's not a chore. I mean, at this point, like, number one is sometimes it's a necessity. Like, you know.
How do you mean? To get her there, or to get her wet enough to fuck?
Yeah, to get her wet enough to fuck, I guess, because it's kind of like it's like a foreplay.
Right.
So it's like, you know, you want to put somebody in the mood, you got to do things like, you know, eating them out, like touching them, kissing them in the neck, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's like that has to happen. So
Totally.
as an adult, I mean, it's kind of like that's like a part of it. Well, like when I was a kid, maybe that was like more of a tiptoed around thing to request or to do for someone. But it's never been like, for me, it's just like I just learned from older dudes like, yo, you got to do it, like you have to.
But okay, but saying you have to is like some
like a
guys have
chore,
said they
but
love eating box. Just like some girls say they love giving head. And I don't know if I necessarily believe that, but
It's like the other whole. I feel like everybody's eating ass.
everyone's
now.
eating ass too.
Yeah, or that.
And people enjoy both.
Yeah.
Like,
There is something about giving pleasure to another person.
No one loves giving anyone head. They just love the person. Too much, probably.
Oh,
I'll say that.
that's cute.
You don't have to love the person too much, but you know, you can
They
just
really
be
love them.
like, you
You
know,
really love
high
someone
off of
if
what's
you wanna
about
do
to
that.
happen, so you
Yeah.
enjoy it.
I've always thought the foreplay was just so that the guy could like get you there so that he can eventually get
I
his
think
nut.
it's for both people.
You think it's for both people?
Yeah, I mean, after you've been in a relationship for a while, I mean,
What about
need
for
that
like people who are
sometimes.
like, because Lindsay's saying everyone's muff diving in 2017, like first date status.
It's true. Lil Wayne and everyone's like coming and being like,
I
you don't
eat
eat the
ass,"
pussy, you're a
and-
fucking
yeah.
loser.
Yeah.
And all these guys are like, I have to eat pussy. Like, I have to eat it now. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever like eaten pussy on the first date.
Never?
Nah.
A guy's done that to me,
gotten it on the
and
first date.
my first thought wasn't, "Oh, how nice this is." It was, "Where the fuck else has your mouth been?"
I don't think it's crazy for somebody to hear that somebody done it on a first date, but it's nothing that I've done on a first date.
Right.
Meeting someone, like, I don't know, put in your mouth there.
It's a lot for
That's
the
a
first
lot, because there's
time.
no condoms for mouth. Or there is, but who wants to use that? How's that?
but honestly, you should use mouth condoms. Like, if you
What's
can.
a mouth condom?
I don't know, like
Dental
you
dam.
put a condom over a dick or like up a pussy and then you suck it.
100%.
Because like I have to be honest, like it's really scary out there. Like I've heard some horror stories of people who always use condoms during sex who got like diseases just from giving people head.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
what it
really?
comes. That's where it mostly happens.
Yeah.
Oh. People just
Fucking
don't-
Michael Douglas.
Yes, Michael Douglas.
almost died from eating pussy. What a hero.
Yeah.
Right?
Hero.
Let's get a mold of silence for that.
That lucky Catherine Zeta-Jones. Okay, so I did a fun little Google thing because I have always a bunch of questions for guys, but I wanted to see like what Google's questions for guys are. Do guys, and these are the first things that populated. Do guys like being called daddy? That was number 1.
Okay.
Do guys moan? Number 2. Do guys like skinny girls, funny girls, tall girls? These are all separate searches. Do guys like girls with short hair? Do guys like girls with tattoos? Do guys like girls with abs? And do guys like girls with glasses?
Yes, to all of them.
All of them.
Yeah, why not?
So
right?
all of these questions, I'm assuming, are just girls who are feeling insecure about
Basically,
their looks.
That's where most questions on Google come from, right?
Right. So the Then there's questions, do guys hate being ignored, big nipples, short hair, cellulite? Are they put off by stretch marks and acne?
Those are different. Those are like particular questions, like when it comes to hate.
Well, let's start with stretch marks because I feel like everyone thinks about stretch marks.
I mean, I never met a skinny girl that didn't have stretch marks. Like,
that's just a human.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's
they
their
have
skin.
Hair, you know.
Yeah.
It's like eyebrows. People have them.
Because I think about stretch marks all the time, and I don't think of myself as a fat girl at all. But I'm like, oh man, like are people looking at this?
When you work out, you get stretch
Guys don't
marks.
look at that shit.
Guys don't look at that shit.
We look at it, we notice it, but we don't care as much as. It's more. It's like a
you
reverse
notice it like
for
when you
most
go on
dudes.
vacation though.
Like I don't
Yeah, you notice it when you're in a
could be-
bathing
Not
suit.
like in bed.
It could be like where I'm from, right? I'm from the South, so like it's like a known thing. Like a thick girl is like kind of like
It's called like tiger stripes, right?
Yeah. Well, that's what like Kat called it, right? But it's like a normal thing. Girl, like I played sports, and like girls that played sports, they all had stretch marks. This is like in high school. It's like I'm like 15, 16. These girls are the same age.
Yeah.
So it's not like this came from them having babies or being really big. It's just like when you work out, you grow.
Right.
It happens. It's natural.
I think we're just very harsh on ourselves.
Oh yeah, we all are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So guys are you guys thinking about like stuff during sex? Like, are you like, is she looking at A, B, C, D? Does this look weird?
I mean, everybody knows dudes like we have egos too, and like the stroking of it is like I feel like some people look at it as a necessity thing, right? So like if you have an ego, so you have insecurities as well. Like that's gonna like kind of goes like hand in hand. So like of course, dudes always worried about how they look, how they smell. Are they groomed right? All of that.
All right, so we're all in our heads. I have the nipple question. Are guys put off by different types of nipples?
People say they are. I've never been put off by like any particular.
What's your favorite nipple?
Yeah.
The regular standard.
Standard
like,
in the middle of a
there has
boob.
to be an areola.
Quarter size.
It's like in 40-year-old virgins. They feel like a
Like,
bag,
bag of
sand,
sand. Just nice. And
that's the whole titty. But
the
for
whole
nipples,
titty.
Yeah.
Any titty, a small titty, big titty, flappy titty,
Oh,
long
you want
titty.
titties and
now,
nipples? What are you
now
talking-
we're just going into all of it.
I mean, it's kind of like titties are titties. Like I'm not gonna.
You're just happy to be in the presence of titties.
I'm not gonna protest
Cool.
for small titties or big ones or mediums.
Cool. Into it. I always thought my nipples were like really weird. I remember growing up and seeing my mom's nipples and like they had nursed babies and like they were dark. So I was like, oh shit, like you're supposed to have really dark nipples.
Those are your nipples that you have to come to expect. Like like later.
Yeah, later in life nipples.
Like the nipples of like Christmas future. Or I guess the more melanin you have, the darker your nipples gonna be. Like same thing for like dudes, like anybody, right? Yeah, so anybody, right? Like your nipples and like your genitalia are like the same color.
Yeah.
Like I've noticed.
Oh, really?
So yeah.
So my nipples are the same color as my pussy?
Probably yeah.
Wait, that's a fun experiment. Everybody check your nipples and your pussy.
I feel like it works better like with men, cause like usually like your dick is like the darkest part of your body.
Yeah.
So if you have like any melanin, like it's
It's all gonna go to your dick.
yeah.
And because the blood goes there, so it makes it even darker.
Yeah. It's like so if you're like tan or dark, usually those girls' nipples are gonna be like dark. Sometimes it's like the same complexion.
Have you encountered hair on nipples?
Yeah, I have, yeah.
Do you care when you see that?
I mean, I haven't seen it often, but when I've seen it, I wasn't necessarily like a fan. I worked around it.
Yeah. What do you think of
Like, yes!
Yeah, hairy
Hair.
nips. What do you think about those little bumps?
What's that?
Little bumps on nips.
Those are always there.
Braille?
Braille, yeah.
They're always there.
They're always there. I used to think it was weird. I thought it was like pimples.
No, they're only there when, like, it's cold.
Oh, yeah. Do you prefer soft nipples or hard nipples?
Probably hard.
Hard nipples.
Yeah, that's like.
I always say I'm all for freeing the nipple as long as it's cold out.
That should be your bio on
That's
Insta.
my bio.
No, right now.
All
It
right.
needs to be.
It's nice to make them change, so it's nice to see both ends of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, true. Because it's like, oh, you're like turned on. This is cool.
Exactly. It's like
Yeah.
goosebumps.
You should also add that to your stand-up because that was such a good point.
Thanks, girl. Bumpy. What do you think of inverted nipples? Have you ever seen inverted nipples?
What the fuck are
Yeah.
inverted nipples? I thought you were talking about belly buttons.
No, it's like when
It's like when the nipple like
the
goes
little eraser
inward.
part goes inward,
It's like
and it looks like a little dimple.
it's like a
zipper?
little slit almost, like
Little
a diagonal slit.
Let's
Yeah.
Google it.
That's what inverted nipples look like.
Oh,
Yep.
Yeah.
not for me.
Well,
I know some girls they get like nipple piercings
to
just
make
to
them
like
pop out.
reverse it.
Yeah.
But I don't know how effective is it once you take the piercing out.
I think it stays out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think the little barbells hold it out.
Yeah, I
know
think
people do
while you
that.
have them in there, yeah.
Yeah.
But who's to say it doesn't naturally go back in if that's just how you
I
are?
think no, it'll naturally go back in.
Yeah, that's
Actually,
what I'm
I don't
saying.
know. My friend, who's a guy, has been looking into the surgery because he's a gay man and he's very about aesthetics, and as most of the gay
Are
community
inverted
is.
nipples not the craze in the gay community?
They are not the craze apparently,
Okay.
or he's just really insecure about it, and he's been looking into like popping them out, like surgically.
Like, who would want an inverted dick, right? Exactly, right? Yeah, fuck it, right?
Yeah, fair.
That's
Oh, I
surgery,
wonder
though?
if
That's
they
like a
pop
lot.
out.
Wait, surgery to invert?
No, to make them not invert.
Oh.
Well, nipples are very sensitive, you know. I feel like that would hurt an
Yeah.
extreme amount, like, even after...
How about
Yeah.
people that like are horny or not horny? It's like when girls like literally like come from people sucking on their nipples. Like,
Well,
what's
I
up
think
with
that's
that?
awesome.
I think that works
I know,
both
I'm jealous.
ways.
Yeah.
I'm jealous, but like, how the fuck is that
Because
happening?
some people just have different erogenous zones, I think, that are like you have to find your thing.
Yeah.
But
But what? Oh, or what about a guy who can't have can't come out
There
of
are
their
guys-
penis, but can only have an orgasm from their like prostate thing?
yeah,
You know what I
that's
mean?
a thing
in
too.
their ass.
Yeah, that's a thing too. And
But they're not gay. Like
they're
what
not
do they
gay.
do?
No. This is okay. A lot of what I'm learning is like these are just bodily functions. Like that's how your body works, or whatever. Yeah, there's this new thing called adult breastfeeding. Actually, have you heard of this?
I've seen it.
And you have seen it in
Yeah,
porn?
porn, yeah.
Okay, I gotta
It was
watch
in a
this.
movie, too.
And
Clive
stuff actually
Owens.
comes out of the boob.
Yeah, like mothers, like they, like...
No, but
Tequila
also you
or,
can
like-
train yourself.
Yeah, you can do that
Like
as well,
girls have guys stay home with them, like they literally quit their jobs, and like couples. I read about this the other day, and they nurse like as much as a baby would, and then eventually your breasts just start producing milk, and then they like breastfeed their boyfriends or husbands. Like, yeah, that's a thing apparently.
I'm really weird.
This is like, I thought like, you have to be like on like birth control for that to happen. Kind of like mimics like a
It
pregnant...
mimics being pregnant.
Yeah.
yeah.
Pregnant, you can't be pregnant if you're on birth control.
Yeah, but it mimics being pregnant, though.
All right. Okay, so I want to finish your story too, just a
You
little
didn't
thing.
finish it?
No, not really.
Oh,
So
this is like a subplot now.
it is a subplot. Yeah, Napoleon's
Checking
first
back in.
time. Yeah, checking back in. So she's started the sex with you. She did all the positions, I'm assuming. Well, she got on top.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
got on top, and like that was it.
And then afterwards you were like, that was great.
Like I came and I only had a reference from health class, and only like I had a reference of it, so it was kind of like one of those moments like, oh, that's what that is, and then I like immediately was just kind of like, oh, how do I even go back home after this? Like,
What, did you like feel shame?
I just thought I was like super changed.
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, how do I go back home? How do I watch the same shit I've been watching after school now?
Yeah.
Like I was like,
I'm a new
I
person.
was like, that chapter's done. Like, but then like that's where it was like kind of like the funniest to me. Like looking back, like it was terrible at the time, but like I didn't have sex again for like another like 3 years.
And did you masturbate in that time or no?
I learned how during that time, but towards the very end of that gap, like I tried a couple times. And it wasn't like successful at all. I just thought the whole action was kind of like stupid, and that might have been like because of like the whole like back and forth when I was a kid. Like, oh,
Yeah.
you're gay.
Yeah.
Like, so I kind of was just like not really into it. And then like a friend was telling me, like, yo, you gotta do. He was like a homeboy, like I played ball. Like a teammate was like,
And he was like a cool enough friend that you were like, oh,
not
this
even,
is
he just kind of
acceptable.
made like it was like a couple of us. Like we would like all kind of like carpool to like to workouts. We would do like offensive line and defensive line like workouts in the off season, and we were like all riding in this dude's truck, and he was just kind of like talking about like looking at porn. and I was like, yo, I don't jerk off, and they all thought it was because I was just saying it to be cool, and they were like kind of just
That's
like
so beyond me that that's considered cool.
They thought I was like kind of just being like trying to be fake, like oh, I don't need to masturbate. They were like, dog, you just do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
just do it.
They were like, stop. They were like, dog, you'll help yourself out. You'll thank us.
Yeah. No, I think that's what I thought, that it was a bad thing. So just and like
you thought what was a bad thing?
Masturbating. Yeah. But like
in church, yeah.
No, but like in general, I thought it was like this thing that like you're gross if you're a girl that does that.
Yeah, people thought that growing up.
Yeah, people thought that. They're just like,
I had
ew.
to be the first person out of my friend group to be like, I masturbate. Do you guys? And they were like, yeah.
Is that how clearly you said it? Like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I was like,
Masturbate.
have you guys ever like used the shower head? And they were like, yeah.
Did you ever
really
use
fun.
one of those like vibrating razors when we were younger?
Vibration is not for me.
That's not for you?
need the-
Talking about like the
I
battery
need
razors, like the
You're an inside man.
I told you 8%.
I know, but I didn't know that you can't do the vibration.
I can. It's just
Some people
It's
start
more
off at
difficult.
8% and then leave it.
people what?
Some people start in the 8% and then are no longer in it after a while.
No. Do you think you can phase out orgasms? Like just stop having them? Like in Sex and the City when Samantha...
No, it's
No, it's like
like-
riding a bike.
It's all to
Yeah.
me. It's all mental. So it's like
Yeah.
it's a mental thing regardless. Like each time, it's like you have to like kind of like want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all have our kinks, I guess, things that we need to happen during sex.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah. I
need
want
to
to
be
ask you,
choked?
do you like choking?
No,
Both of us, you like to be
no,
choked?
I don't like choking, but I've been asked to choke before,
Yeah.
and I'm always kind of just like sidestepping it, like.
Why? Because you're
'Cause I
too
have
strong.
huge
He's
hands.
big guy. you guys. I'll give you a
Famous,
visual. Yeah.
I usually just kind of like place my hands above their collarbone, kind of like just
Yeah.
like, all right.
It'd be like in a
And then, like,
Mice and
you know,
Men
with-
when Lenny
with the-
like accidentally kills that woman.
Like-
Oh no! Yeah. Oh
But like
god!
when I try to like fake it, when I try to play with like kind of not do it,
Yeah.
I've seen people get kind of aggravated with that. Like they're like,
choke
like
me.
you just choke, like
Yeah.
yeah.
Come on,
so,
boy.
so I'll be like, I'll attempt, but I try to like.
What do you think is
Annoy them
more
out of it.
common? A guy wanting to be choked or a girl wanting to be choked?
I think girls want to be choked.
I think girls want to be choked. I think a lot
I think
of
we
girls.
all mirror whatever it is they put out to us. So like a lot
I
of
agree.
stuff, like you see a lot of that stuff in porn. So it's kind of like some people think like, let me do what looks good to them,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll be good for me. Like kind of like.
Whenever somebody chokes me, I choke them right back.
And
I'm not
you
even
should.
kidding.
And you should. You should be a tussle that goes along.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, this isn't gonna feel like a rape. It's gonna feel like a fight.
Oh yeah, bro. I'm just like,
I'm dead.
I played a game of chicken. Who can?
Yeah.
And then I just did for younger people what they're Googling. So this was instead of do men or do women, it's do boys and do girls. So do boys have periods, have cooties, like me, cry, like Hatchimals?
Like what?
Hatchimals.
The fuck is that?
It's
I'm
like a
saying
trendy little toy that everyone's playing with.
I feel like those other questions the same thing adults ask too. Do boys cry? Like,
Yeah, but literally, like one of it was, do guys think about their ex, about marriage, about kissing their crush, their girlfriends? Like that's essentially like, do guys have emotions?
See, it's funny because it's like a lot of those questions are like things that both men and women ask for like the other.
Yeah.
But it's like I feel like if you think about it, just like assume the other person does.
Right.
Like if you think about it, regardless of like male or female.
Yeah.
Whoever another person was going to think the same as
Humans are human.
We're all a part of the same environment. Why do you think you're like brand new with these like?
Yeah.
He's like, huh?
No, the girl questions are like, oh, do girls have Adam's apples, poop, have prostates, cum, have wet dreams? Like it's everyone just wondering, like, are they
These
like
are all
me?
secrets
That's
girls
so
keep from us,
funny.
though. That's
Yeah.
We don't have Adam's apples.
We don't have Adam's apples.
They're both like secrets everybody keeps from each other as what you think you're not supposed
Yeah.
to. Like dudes think they can't cry, girls like
Girls think they can't have
Can't
wet dreams,
shit.
and they can, and they shit all the time.
yes,
And then I have, do men and women? Do men have estrogen, periods, hormones, have thyroids, get breast cancer? Do women like beards, have testosterone, have wet dreams, like sex? Like, it's just, are we like the other one?
I think the only one that's not is like dudes don't have periods. I think everything
Right.
else is like
Unless it's a trans man, and then they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all. Yep.
Yeah.
Good point.
So then it's yes for all of them then.
Yeah. I mean, basically. So basically, I think at the end of this man episode, we've learned that men and women are not so dissimilar.
I don't know, we put too much weight in like internal and external plumbing. It's like it's the same shit.
Yeah, and we're all just trying to like have a really nice time and do this thing with our bodies that makes each other and ourselves feel good.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody's
Agreed.
trying to
Also,
feel
I
good.
just made it to the highest round I've ever made of HQ trivia. So after this, you guys are helping me continue.
Yeah, okay, so we're going to quit this podcast right now because we've got to play HQ. It's a very good game.
pee.
Download it. Use my username, RemyVK, so I get some points. You guys, it's been so fun having you both on.
Thank you for having me.
I
Nice.
love you guys.
It was
And
fun.
yeah,
Really
so,
fun.
oh yeah, and my assignment, I guess we already decided, is I'm going to watch some porn
Watch
because
some
now
porn.
there's so much more out
Watch
there.
some
You, as always, can follow along with my assignments. So this week, watch porn. And yeah.
Okay, you guys, I have to just ask this on every podcast to be polite. Did you finish?
Yeah.
Yeah, Lindsay, did you finish?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, everyone, thank you for coming. And see you next time on How Come. Bye.
All right. I use the restroom.
It was Andrew Lloyd Webber, right? I need your help.
Do
Oh my god, I lost, so it doesn't matter.
Finish honestly. They say you'll know when you go all the way from A right down to O. Whoa, whoa. I think that I still got a ways to go. Oh, oh. I'm sick of this and I have got to know. How come? How come? How come I can't achieve? How come I can't achieve? I'm rolling up my sleeves. I'm rolling up my sleeves. Oh baby, I believe these guests can help. 'Cause I can't do it by myself. I wanna jizz